A near deafening roar from the faithful here at Monona Terrace as Devin Pitbull Seitz is heading to the cage for our amateur title bout. Along with Chris Garrity and Gerald Mearshart, I am Rich Reynolds. We are cage side here at Monona Terrace for this one in front of a sold-out crowd. And Devin Seitz, who we saw get a victory in Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 15, a tight fight with a lot of great action that turned into a split decision win over Oscar Ariano, and definitely got Seitz this chance here tonight against Oldebburg for this vacant title at 155 pounds. Seitz has brought his entourage with him. They are loud, they are large, they are vocal, and they are ready for this one. Half a foot difference as Oldebburg, the taller of the two. I had both of these fighters in on my show, Wisconsin Sports, on TVW last week. And you couldn't have met two nicer guys, both of them very cordial to each other, both of them talking about the respect that they have for each other. All of that kind of stuff kind of goes out the window, I think, at this point, as now you're just focused on doing your thing to try and take home a title. And Oldebburg heading up to the cage, ranked number 7 in both Wisconsin and in Minnesota as an amateur at the lightweight class. He is 5-2. Now, the last time we saw him, a little over a year ago, with Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 13, and that was a round 2 victory, a rear naked choke against Joshua Rude. Oldebburg and Seitz for the title. Oldebburg fighting out of Fearless MMA down in Janesville. Works a lot with Patrick Delgado, who we are going to be seeing in a fight of his own coming up in just a little while.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is brought to you by Carbon World Health and features 3 rounds in our vacant championship amateur 155-pound division. Introducing first, this man, fighting out of the Rob Performance Motorsports red corner. He weighed in at 154.2 pounds. He hails from Broadhead, Wisconsin. An impressive amateur record, 3 victories, only 1 defeat. He represents the Blast Mixed Martial Arts, ladies and gentlemen, Devin Seitz! His opponent, this man, fighting out of the Kearns blue corner. He hails from Janesville, Wisconsin, and represents Fearless Mixed Martial Arts. In 7 amateur bouts, he has 5 impressive victories. Weighing in at 153.2 pounds, please welcome to the cage, Bobby Oldebburg!
This crowd reached full throat a couple of fights ago in the Mayhew-Fussner matchup. They have not let up since then, as it has been super loud here at the Monona Terrace. Here we go. Amateur title on the line. Seitz against Oldebburg, as Oldebburg again with a huge height advantage, and that is just gone right now as the Pitbull is able to take him down.
Yeah, Seitz right on that leg kick, scoops up that leg, gets a takedown. Kind of a stalemate right here. Seitz wants to work out, but you know, Oldebburg being smart, he's trying to hold on to Seitz, stifle his movement, maybe just waiting for a time to start shrimping, get back to guard, maybe trying to get a stand-up, which I doubt will happen from side control, but we'll see as the fight goes on.
Rich, we've been here for some of these fights where you've got a lot of crowd behind a fighter before, and this might be the first time an amateur fighter has ever had a crowd back him in this way in Devin Seitz. And that's not to take anything away from Oldebburg, because he brought a bunch of people here too, but this place is on fire.
It is unbelievable. I mean, the volume in here is kind of hard to describe. I'm not sure how much you're getting of that at home, but it is deafening here tonight, and a huge contingent from Broadhead behind one Devin Seitz. The Pit Bull, again, a winner the last time we saw him in a split decision in a fight that, I mean, you can't call it anything else but tight against Oscar Arellano, as, again, that's why it was a split decision, but a lot of action in that one as well. As a Pit Bull's usually pretty darn active. That's what we've seen out of him, and so far here in this first round, he has been actively in side control.
Yeah, see Oldebburg doing a lot of bridging his hips, bridging his back up, trying to roll around. Seitz does not want to give up this dominant position. He's just been staying on top right now, and as you said, his cheering section just as loud as his shorts, which is nothing short of impressive. And he wants to get this victory. It seems like he might be playing it a little bit safe right now, maybe just wearing on Oldebburg, laying his weight on him, let him move around and gas himself out until he sees the opening that he wants to take to get into a real dominant position to either land some hard ground and pound or possibly set up a submission.
What I haven't been able to figure out is why he hasn't popped up into a full mount yet. Now, I know Oldebburg's knee has been coming up, but there's been a few openings there where he could have mounted pretty easily and rained down some damage. So I agree with you there, Gerald. He's just kind of taking his time with this one, and I don't know if it's maybe just comfortability, knowing nothing's going to happen to him where he is now, but at some point, if you want the title, you're going to have to take advantage of it and get on top of this fight.
Right, and as I mentioned before, I think maybe he just feels Oldebburg's bridge is a little too strong. As you see, he comes off the cage, and I think that's what he was worried about, is Oldebburg getting those hips up and rolling them over. And now we see the guys back on their feet, and Oldebburg briefly looking for the back there. He's got a little bit of a headlock pinch in, no choke yet. Now Oldebburg on a leg.
Trying for a takedown of his own here in the final 10 seconds of the round as he has Seitz off the ground but cannot get the Pit Bull down.
Would have been a takedown, but he was holding on to the cage.
Yep.
So there you go, an active first round, and the crowd loves it between Oldebburg and Seitz. We are back for round number 2 right after this on TVW. All right, let's take a look at action here from round number 1 as we got to see how Oldebburg was able to get out of that defensive position that he was in for most of the round, and they're attempting that takedown right at the end as you take a look at Seitz and Oldebburg matching up. And guys, what did you think of round number 1?
You know, it was pretty much all Seitz until the end there when he went for that mount. He just timed it a little bit wrong. If he would have waited to when Oldebburg was a little more flat, he could have held the dominant position, but Oldebburg just kept bridging and eventually got the reversal off that bridge when Seitz tried to mount him, and then Oldebburg tried to look for a big takedown. Seitz grabbed the cage, and he just couldn't get enough to win the round.
Oldebburg, I think, has gotten some momentum from what happened at the very end of that first round. In his whole time he was in his corner, mostly had his head up, listening to his coaches, shaking his head, nodding forward, popped up off his seat, where Seitz was completely different, taking a huge, deep breath, head down. I don't know, there could have been a momentum shift in the fight just from that last 10 seconds.
Seitz controlled most of round number 1. We will see how it goes here in round number 2, and maybe from a striking position if Oldebburg can use that height advantage. Nope, once again, it is the Pit Bull who's able to go ahead, get the takedown, and get into a dominant position.
And now we see Seitz going straight to mount, as Chris was calling for before, and this time he did it when Oldebburg didn't have much of a bridge going yet, and it allowed him to get to a spot. He's not quite in grapevine, but he's low enough on the hips, and he's got his feet back far enough where he can kind of transfer his weight back and forth with Oldebburg's bridges. And now he's going to set up shop here. Oldebburg is holding on to the head, trying to minimize damage and possibly waiting for an opening to explode.
And the instinct from Oldebburg, as you saw, was to turn around and try and do the same thing he did in the first round, which is get his feet up on the cage so he could hip up, buck up, and get Seitz off of him. But great thing that Seitz did, what you saw, scooting him back to the center of the cage, not giving him a chance to use those long legs to get him off him.
Good strategy here by Seitz, who keeps turning on over, taking a look at his corner, getting instruction here as it's hard to hear the corner over the screams of the crowd. A couple shots landed there by Seitz. Now Oldebburg, again, trying to get out of it, but Seitz holding that dominant spot.
So right now, Oldebburg's got to pop and either push the hips to get a leg back in to possibly get to half guard or get an elevator hook in, or he could shrimp one way to pull a foot back into half guard and shrimp back the other direction to try and work the full guard. But right now, Seitz just seems to have too much pressure. Oldenburg's got to get out of this, and if he can't get back to the feet, I would tell him if I'm in his corner to look for either a head kick or a high middle kick. That's going to force Seitz to keep his guard high, and it's going to bump him enough where it's going to make him tentative to shoot. And the way Seitz was standing before, his hands were a little bit low and his chin was high. If he doesn't block it, he's going to get head kicked. But right now, not looking like Oldenburg is going to be able to find a way out of this mount. And just as I say that, he tries to bridge up. Seitz stays dominant, right back on top.
Great job from
Pitbull
Seitz.
continues to control the action. Yeah, as Seitz again on top again. Is Oldebburg almost got out, but Seitz quickly went ahead and got back in the dominant spots, and now it's landing a couple of good lefts.
Well, and if you were at home before that reversal try right there by Oldenburg, you're thinking, how come Seitz isn't raining down more damage from this position? And you saw why, how quick and powerful Oldenburg can be from the bottom for a reversal like that, and Seitz was ready for it, and that's why he hadn't been just kind of blatantly firing down random shots, because he didn't want to get bucked up and tossed over. So again, very smart, very tactical fight from Seitz on top here in the mount position.
Oldenburg's got 10 seconds to try to get out again. This is where he was able to get out in round number 1, and he gets the reversal here in the second round as well. Those final 10 seconds are the best 10 seconds of the round each time for Bobby Oldenburg. Third round coming up. We will see who takes the strap right after this on TVW. Replays here now from the second round in action as Devin Seitz once again in control of Bobby Oldenburg, as Oldenburg has been on his back basically for most of this fight.
Right, and we can see at the very end of this round, Seitz hearing that 10-second bell, and actually very good fight IQ on his part is, you know, there's 10 seconds left, go for a submission, see if you can snatch it up, and that allow Oldenburg to come on top. But, you know, still, that's why you wait to that bell, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever's left, a short time. Maybe you lock up a submission, but as long as you're not too risky, you can go for something, and you're not going to give up the round. So very smart move by Seitz there. If he got the armbar, great. If he doesn't, he's still winning.
And let's welcome in chosen few promoter, Mr. Josh Sterry. Says he wants to give us a comment on the fight so far.
Yeah, you guys watching this fight, you know, Devin Seitz is doing a good job controlling. We all know that. We're talking about that. But if he wants to finish this fight, he needs to be high or low in that control when he's in full mount. If he wants to finish this fight, don't leave it to the judges. You know, Bobby Oldenburg's dangerous, and you can't let that happen. You got to finish a fight when you get the opportunity. When you're in mount, you got many different ways to do that.
And even though the last 10 seconds of each round went in Oldenburg's favor, he is down 2 rounds to none on this fight card. So if you were in his corner, you have to tell him a finish is the only way you're taking home the championship.
Absolutely. Bobby's going to be reckless, right? He's going to find a way to try to do what he needs to do to get this finish, whether it's off his back and throwing up submissions or throwing bombs. And, you know, he already got taken down by Devin, so he's on his back. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Seitz again on top, using that right hand now, hitting Oldenburg in the side of the head and also in the ribs, trying to get the left hand in there, as well as his entourage cheering him on here in this third and final round. It looks like he's about 2 minutes away from being an amateur title holder. But again, you talk about Oldenburg, he is dangerous, and we have seen some quick reversals here tonight.
It'll be interesting to see if Devin moves into mount again and what he actually does. Is he going to play it safe then and probably control? Well, that's understandable in the third round when you know you're 2 rounds to none, right? But we'll see what happens here.
Well, it looks like he's going for a reverse key lock with the legs. He's looking to pin that wrist in between his legs. And now he might give up a reversal, and there's Oldenburg on top. This is his chance he's been waiting for. He's got to hit a finish.
Oldenburg trying to get that right arm out. He did. Seitz, though, able to escape. Kick there by Oldenburg. Not good enough as Seitz is going to take him down to a thunderous roar from the broadhead entourage.
That kick landed. The kick landed, and Seitz just moved forward and picked him up off the ground. Great
That's
job,
what I was saying before. He's got to throw a head kick or a high middle kick, but just not enough sauce on that kick to get the respect from Seitz.
Hit that switch real quick with his hips, right straight into mount again. So we'll see what happens here. Is he going to posture and punch? Is he going to try to finish this fight, or if he's going to take the safe way out?
I stay right here. You stay the safe way out. You're going to take the championship home right here. Who knows what the damage is after that kick and where his head is at right now, so why move? I wouldn't move.
The chant you're hearing from the crowd is Pit Bull, Pit Bull, as we now are approaching the final 30 seconds of this one. Seitz in control, and his crowd starting to sense
Yeah,
that he's going to take home that belt.
Short time, he's going to posture, and he's going to end.
Right, we heard Seitz's corner. He said, move up. They want Seitz to put his knees up in the armpits of Oldebburg. That takes his hips away from Oldebburg's hips. So every time Oldebburg bridges, there would be no effect, and he could just rain down punches.
Here we go.
Like this right there. There it is.
Little pounding here now from Seitz. Oldebburg trying to defend. Final
Timeout.
seconds of the fight.
That's what they
It is
wanted.
hard to hear the horn. It is that loud in here as they have drowned out the horn from Broadhead. They are on their feet. Seitz climbing the cage, expecting to be victorious. We will see if that is indeed the case, as we will be back with the official decision right after this on TVW. Wow.
Man, how messed up would that be if they called it the other way?
Oh, God. We've seen it happen. But oh my goodness.
What do we do at that point? You know?
If it goes the other way? Holy crap.
Pick some random people to judge from the audience. you got a
Back
tap
in the
out.
old days when you and I were fighting back on those cards,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, you got a tap out shirt on? You can judge. Come on.
Wow.
That is the great thing about these commissions these days is there's no bias, right? These commission comes in here, they're hired, they hire their staff, the refs. There's no hometown stuff, no hometown favorites anymore. You know, which that was a thing back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, it
it
was a
was.
true thing for sure.
All right, we are taking a look at the replay action from round number 3 as Devin Seitz pretty dominant here tonight over Bobby Oldebburg. Oldebburg showing a little bit of the wear and tear as there's a cut on the right side of his face. As Josh Derry now has put down the headset, so is Chris Garrity. They have headed up into the cage. Seitz and Oldebburg to the center, and here's your official decision.
Before we get to an official decision, one more round of applause for a great title fight. After 3 rounds of lightweight championship action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Both Judge Sabatis and winner score the bout 30-27, while Judge Frausto has it 30-26, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, and the new lightweight champion, Devin Pitbull Seitz.
Not only was Seitz dominant in winning on every card, he won one judge over on a 10-8 round. That's how good he was as the strap looking good on the Pitbull. Chris is going to talk to him right now.
Devin, you were in control for most of that fight, your first amateur title, an impressive amateur record. Tell me what you're feeling right now wearing that strap around your waist.
I feel overwhelmed right now. I work so hard for this. 6-7 days a week. Oh, I can't even believe it right now.
He seemed dangerous off his back, so even though you were in the mount for most of that fight, it looked like what you were trying to do was make sure that he didn't hip up and buck you off, and you did a great job at doing that, even when he tried the reversal there in the second round. Tell us how you were able to control him so well with your knees up in his armpits.
Well, we worked the whole time. We knew that he was out of the jiu-jitsu gym, and we knew that if I got mount, I needed to scoop my knees into his armpits and squeeze and stay there. Try and cover his mouth with his arms, and then ground and pound. I didn't do as much ground and pound as I wanted to do, but I still got it done.
Well, you did a great job tonight. You are now the amateur lightweight champion. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Devin Seitz.
There he is, Devin Seitz, your chosen feud champ at
Folks, you know what that means.
155 pounds and well-earned. What
martial arts
a
coming
night
up
for
next,
Seitz
right after
and
a
his
short
faithful
10-minute
fans.
break.
All right, that wraps up the amateur portion of the card. We go to the pro fight right after this on TVW.